After 7 years, to the point where I could not jog, I could not jump without causing me extreme pain, it's gone. The pain's gone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Manuel. I'm the co host of Transform Table Talk with Dr. Maggie Yu. And today, a very exciting interview with Teresa. Teresa has a cool job. She works with horses and she gets herself underneath these 1,000-pound animals and works on their hooves. To do that, she has to have a lot of strength and a lot of stamina. Unfortunately for Teresa, her health declined over the last several years to the point where it was getting to be not a safe environment for her being underneath these large, powerful animals. She was feeling extreme fatigue. She was feeling widespread pain in her joints, pain in her muscles. And she just didn't feel like herself anymore. She was feeling depressed. She gained 60 pounds over the course of 2 years without changing anything to her diet or exercise routine. And she knew she needed to make a change. Unfortunately, Teresa was dismissed and even put down by her doctors. They tried to shame her, saying, well, you must be doing something to be gaining all this weight. She wasn't believed until she found Dr. Maggie, and her whole life has turned around. I can't wait for you to see where Teresa is now. Teresa, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Teresa Hitu. I am a mom and wife.
And you have a very interesting job, too.
I do. I am a farrier, so I work with horses' feet.
Yeah, for people who don't know what that means, what do? You trim the hooves and you also put horseshoes on the.
Yeah. So I'm slightly alternative in that I'd use either glue-on shoes like composites, and I also trim the hooves, but I don't typically put on metal shoes.
Okay, so I am imagining what that job might be like, and you're probably positioned underneath this 1,000-pound to 1,500-pound large animal. And so you have to really be strong and good physical condition to do that job. What is that like?
I When talking to people who have no idea what I do, I usually just liken it to weightlifting. you know, because you're under this horse for 30 minutes or so, and you're squatted down, and you're holding their foot up, and sometimes they're not exactly cooperative.
Mhm.
So you have to work through that. So you have to have a significant amount of strength.
And unfortunately, though, you were losing your strength. I mean, this is something that you, of all people, needed to do your job, to be safe, even to have your strength. But
Absolutely.
over the last, how long has it been? Couple years now, you started to feel worse and worse. What's been going on?
Yeah, I was just exhausted. It could be a cool day and I'd just be pouring sweat, depression, just all sorts of just difficulties. My strength wasn't there when I needed it. I have these muscles, but it felt like they wouldn't work for me anymore.
When that was going on, what did you think? And did you go to the doctor right away? What was your first step?
I started to think maybe I was overdoing it or whatever. Wasn't getting enough sleep. I did eventually go into the doctor, never got very many answers.
Why? What was that like? I'm sure when you're saying not getting answers, it was frustrating. What Tell
Yes.
me about the process.
Yeah, that was a frustrating process. I had gained towards the end, I'd gained about 60 pounds in 2 years.
Mm.
And every time I went to the doctor, that's all they wanted to talk about. My weight was the problem. That's why I had so much pain. You know, if I just work harder and eat better, I would lose weight.
And yet you
And then
hadn't
there
really
wouldn't be
changed
problems
your
again.
diet or lifestyle, right? Had
No,
your
it
diet or
hadn't
lifestyle
changed. No, but they didn't believe that I worked as hard as I did. So,
you were feeling dismissed and put down then, it sounds like, by the physicians in the medical world, not
oh
being
yeah.
believed.
Yeah. No, they were very happy to test me for, diabetes and when I had joint pain, gout. And even one doctor said, oh, your test came back normal, but I don't believe it. I would like to test you again because look at you. And
Wow.
so, you
That's
know,
insulting.
yes, absolutely.
What was your reaction?
It was demoralizing, really, just to not be believed. And I didn't go back. I kind of stopped seeing doctors. I stopped seeking answers to my health issues.
But
And
it
then,
sounds like, unfortunately, things continue to get worse.
yep, things definitely got worse.
And you
I
mentioned
was
sort of
on
had.
the verge of completely stopping my business because I was so exhausted.
It's your livelihood. It's something I
Yeah.
can tell when you're talking about it, you love. You love working with these animals, and to have to think about giving it all up after I'm sure you had worked very hard to establish yourself. What was
Yes.
that like for you?
Very difficult to accept. So I was still struggling through, on the day to day. I would try and keep as many clients. And the worst part about it is that, you start disappointing other people and then you disappoint yourself. You're like, I can do this for other people. And then they're not quite as happy with, your work because you're so stretched thin.
Tell me on the worst days, what did it feel like to live inside your body?
Like nothing worked. you know, my muscles didn't want to do what I told them to. Constant inflammation, the occasional big joint flare up or just always joint pain. It didn't quit. And I just kind of white knuckled it through my day.
You knew something was really wrong though.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10 then, where would you put that pain level and exhaustion?
7 or 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost unbearable.
Yeah.
So you finally met with a doctor who gave you some sort of tentative diagnosis. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I'd had the occasional joint flare up that would keep me from being able to use like that particular joint for a couple of weeks, and went through the doctor pipeline and ended up at a rheumatologist that said, well, you might have palindromic rheumatoid arthritis, but it's not damaging your joints yet, so come
Mm.
back and see me when it gets worse,
Oh, let's
basically.
wait for your
Yeah.
body to have real
Yeah.
long-lasting damage and harm
Yeah.
to it before
Permanent
we'll
damage.
intervene.
Yeah.
Nothing else really to offer you, though.
No.
And what did you think about that?
I was mad. I
Yeah.
was really mad.
And then also to hear, this is not a common diagnosis. Did you feel kind of alone and like you were dealing with something rare?
Yeah, I just felt like people didn't understand how painful it was when it happened to me. It would shut me down for a week. And of course, when you're running a business and you're down for a week, sometimes 2 weeks, and you can't just ignore everything. You have to reset up your clients, puts you behind schedule and everything. So,
Absolutely. And then you're thinking you might be losing clients at the same time. I
yes.
mean, I don't know how many
I-
farriers there are in your town, but if they need it done, they need it done. And if you can't do it, they may need to go somewhere else. So
Yep.
that cannot be a good feeling.
No.
So I'm wondering then, what was the turning point where you sought out help in a different way and you found Dr. Maggie?
I just couldn't do it anymore. I was afraid I was going to lose my business entirely, give up. Horses are a long-term love of my life. And I'm thinking, I just want to be done. And at that point, your brain kind of goes, well, is this really how you feel? Or is there another thing? And it kind of turns that switch where you think something's not right. Like I shouldn't feel this way. This is a lifetime love of this work and this life, and then suddenly I don't want it anymore. And
Mm.
that was kind of that switch where I went, I've got to do something. I've got to fix this.
And how did you come across the Transform program?
Actually, I had a client at my business that had known Dr. Maggie from before the Transform program. And she kind of keyed me in on Dr. Maggie. And so I, found my way to the internet and started searching for her and, looking up for information and realizing that here was a place where I might get some answers. And the biggest thing that excited me was not only was somebody going to give me the answers, they were going to teach me how to find the answers,
Yes.
teach me how to read the information so that I could know the answers because I just lost so much trust in doctors to know the answers for me.
Yeah. And so, okay, let's cut right to it. We'll go through kind of what happened through the process of the program, but how are you feeling now that you're about a month out of the program?
I would say I'm probably close to 80% better.
Wow.
I feel great.
Did you
So
ever think that those words, I mean, you just wanted some relief, but did you ever think that you would say, I feel great again?
I honestly did not think I would ever say I feel great again. Yeah, I thought, oh, I'm just getting old and this is just what life is going to be.
Wow.
And when you've got young kids at home, you don't want to think that way. right? You want to be there for them and you want to be active and be able to take them places and not tired all
Yeah,
the time.
because I don't know if we mentioned it, but you have twin 10-year-old girls.
I do.
You. And then you have 2 older daughters as well. So
I
you're a
do. Yeah.
busy mom of 4, but
Yes.
2 at 10 years old living with you right now. So I'm sure that's a lot of fun, but can be a lot of energy and crazy and, a lot going on with 2 10-year-old girls. Um,
Absolutely.
you have to have the energy not only for your business, for yourself, for your husband, but also for your children. So now you feel great. And I want to know, what about the pain level? You said it was a 7 to an 8 before. Where would you put that pain and exhaustion now?
As far as pain goes, I'm almost at a 0. No joke. Probably one of the most unbelievable parts of this whole journey was how much of pain that I didn't think was even related to everything else that I was dealing with has gone away as well. But exhaustion, it's pretty darn good.
You have energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I have energy. It's so incredible to have it back.
What do you think made the difference for you in feeling so much better?
I think number 1 and fairly early in the program was thyroid.
Were
And
you
once
expecting that to be an issue for you?
I was, because of the weight gain that I had suffered and everything, I thought
And yet
maybe
no
there was
other
something.
doctor was looking into your thyroid?
Yeah, they looked into it. Everything was quote unquote normal.
Ah. Okay.
Well, and not to mention quote unquote normal, I got the typical, oh, well, she's overweight. Of course she wants it to be her thyroid because that's an easy excuse.
Wow.
Yeah,
So demoralizing, like you said.
it really is. Yeah.
So they said it was normal and they sent you on your way. Yet
Yes.
in the Transform program, what did you learn about your thyroid?
I learned I have Hashimoto's.
Hello. A big diagnosis here that the other doctors, multiple doctors, it sounds like, were missing. And
Yes.
yet Dr. Maggie established this and found this pretty much immediately, it sounds like,
Pretty
upon.
much immediately, yeah. All the puzzle pieces came together as soon as I kind of understood, "Oh, I have Hashimoto's," and I learned more about it, and I'm like, "Yep, that totally makes sense with what I was dealing with."
Mm.
So,
And better yet, now we have a path toward fixing it. I want to know, how quickly after you took some of those steps did you start to feel better?
so quick. So fast. Within about a week, I was definitely feeling kind of my more normal energy levels.
Did your family notice?
Yes. How could you not?
Right.
I didn't immediately come home and climb into bed and just want to end my day. I came home and I was able to do things and cook meals for my family again and, be present. So,
Wow. Yeah, they had their mom and their wife back again.
yeah.
Probably a great feeling for everybody involved. Did you have blood sugar mastery before this program, or did you have a
Um,
lot of work to do?
I thought I was doing okay before the program just simply because I was never even pre-diabetic. I have lots and lots of tests to prove that I've never been diabetic. But what I did find out was that even fluctuations between normal levels can make a huge difference.
Did you notice a difference there as well?
I did. I did for sure. Definitely better energy. I think my anxiety went down just a little bit. I slept better. I woke up in a better mood, and I was really ready to start my day.
Feeling good. What about, how was your digestion? What did you learn?
I learned that I had pretty low stomach acid. My digestion wasn't great. Definitely always had something going on, as far whatever I ate would always, cause some sort of issues. Getting that under control has made a difference as well. Being able to eat what I want to eat.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. And then what about, I know we touched on thyroid, but what about your other hormones? What was the puzzle piece there?
Yeah, my adrenals were in stage 2 fatigue, and I have PCOS and estrogen dominance.
Okay,
So
was that
all of those
surprising to
things.
you?
Yes.
Right.
I had no clue about the PCOS. I never had fertility issues or anything like that, which are common. So I really had no idea.
You were fortunate, absolutely, to not have the fertility issues, but it sounds like PCOS was wreaking havoc on your body in so many other ways. When I'm hearing all of the different diagnoses and issues that were uncovered during the program, they all really do tie right back into some of the symptoms that you were dealing with. You were exhausted, you were in pain, you just weren't feeling like Teresa anymore. And yet, one by one, when you're able to address these things, wow, that heaviness lifts and you start feeling like you again. And to know that it happened in such a short period of time,
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I think it's amazing, join the program hoping for results and going, I'm probably just going to not get anything out of it. And yeah, it proved me absolutely wrong, which I love. I think I just came in at first with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder just because of all the doctors that I had been to trying to figure out what's going on. And, maybe I can't be fixed.
Maybe I can't be fixed. And you're not alone in having that mindset. But I'm curious that even though you didn't necessarily think you would get a lot out of it, you still took that leap of faith to join this program, which is a big commitment. I want to hear
Yeah.
more about why did you decide to do it then?
I think a lot of it was just more knowledge. I don't like feeling like I don't understand what's happening with me. That was a big benefit to the program, was learning that everything that I could do to make things better, and I know how to handle it in the future and everything, rather than just going to a doctor and hoping that they have the knowledge to help me. Now I've got the knowledge.
You have the knowledge, you're your own advocate, and you'll keep that for life. And that has to be very empowering, I'm sure, for you.
Absolutely. And it's been hugely beneficial. We ran my husband through a little bit of the testing. He had had some weird symptoms, and we found out that he's got an iron over storage disease. And when I went and looked at it, he has several of the symptoms. So, yeah, we were able to figure that one out.
I'm curious, did you have reservations about joining the program with the cost or the time commitment or anything like that?
Actually, the funny thing was, one of my reservations was I was worried I wasn't sick enough.
Isn't that funny to look back on now when you're talking about crawling into bed and unable to function in your life and maybe giving up your business?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I was still muscling through, and I wasn't sure if, I could get help. I was the proverbial, frog in the warming pot, and thankfully I jumped out before it started boiling.
You hopped right out of that pot. Yeah. And now you're able to go hop around and live your life. So you thought you weren't sick enough. Now looking back, what has the value of this program been for you?
It's huge. I mean, I can keep my business. I can, still keep working with horses. I now have time for my family. We're planning a vacation for the summer, and now I don't have to worry about not having the energy to do it.
Would you have been able to even think about going on vacation previously?
I think I would have done it for my family. I don't think I would have enjoyed it. I think
Hmm.
I probably would have been in pain and exhausted the whole time,
Yeah. Where do you
which
guys
wouldn't have been fun for them.
No, or you. Where are you gonna go?
We are going to do a Western States National Parks tour.
Okay, so that
So,
will take a lot of energy because it's
oh
gonna
yeah,
be a lot of hiking around and walking and sightseeing, so
absolutely. Yeah.
you're going to need to feel at your best, and
Hmm.
you're almost there.
Almost there.
You
Yes.
say you feel great, and this is the
Yes.
process. You just graduated the Transform program, and we always say, it launches you into at least a year of autoimmune or mystery symptom, chronic disease, pain, turnaround. What did you love most about the program? I know you mentioned the education. What did you like the best about whether it be the education or anything else in the program?
I really loved feeling empowered to pay attention to my symptoms. So many times when you go to the doctor, they're like, yeah, they're just symptoms. Your tests all come back fine, and they ignore you. But with Maggie, it's like, listen to these symptoms. All of these things point to what you're dealing with. Listen to your body.
That is a good feeling. Is you know now, okay, if something happens, I'm going to know I am empowered to know exactly what steps to take and what course of action to correct it and get back on track. So it really helps that anxiety melt away. I know you mentioned that this program has directly impacted your husband's health already. I'm curious, how has it impacted the rest of the family?
I think they're just happy to see me, more positive and moving around a lot more and able to be more active.
Any activities that they want to do, you're able to be there.
Yes.
What kind
Yeah.
are they
Yeah.
involved in like
No,
after school events?
the word no or not right now is leaving my vocabulary, slowly but surely.
So, what did you think about the community aspect of working in the Transform program? Was that something that you were immediately comfortable with?
I loved it. I loved having all of these, people with me who are going through similar problems and, the honesty and the ability for all of us to cheer each other on and stay positive through everything.
Yeah,
It was really motivating.
it is. It can make a big difference too in seeing everybody else around you celebrating wins and successes. And if you're not at that point yet, you know it's coming for you because literally everybody is celebrating something and an improvement in their life. So, yeah, I can relate to that as well. So, what was it like for you working with Dr. Maggie? What did you think about Dr. Maggie?
Oh, she's so smart. I really appreciate all of her knowledge and her kind of unwillingness to, let you keep just spewing out your same narrative. She gets on you about, well, you may think that this is this way, but it's not. You can change how you think about this thing.
It kind of shakes you, virtually
Yes.
shakes you. It says,
Yeah.
snap out of it. Stop that story that you're telling yourself. What is this story you have going on around this or that? It's like we need somebody. We do need somebody sometimes who has that knowledge base that can wake us up to, okay, clearly what we're doing the old way isn't working. So what are we going to do differently to get a different result? And it's like she has all the answers.
Yes.
So, who would you recommend this program for? I'm curious because you had not even a sure diagnosis, you had a tentative diagnosis, you had what we'll call a lot of mystery symptoms, and you were feeling terrible. And now your quote is, I feel great. So, who do you think this program is for?
Oh gosh, anybody with an autoimmune disorder, obviously, and anybody who's felt underserved by their own doctors. If you've got symptoms, if you are saying to yourself something's not right, but you're not getting answers, this is the place.
What is something you can do now effortlessly that was so hard to do before the program?
Yeah, mostly just using my muscles and using my legs. So when I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be super tense and my legs would be kind of just all my joints just wouldn't move. And so as I'd go down the stairs, I'd kind of stumble my way down the stairs, and just having that flexibility again has been huge. It is, you forget how much you've changed. In fact, it was a couple days where I would get down the stairs and be like, well, that wasn't as difficult as it was. That's very weird. And it took me a couple days to really like focus on the new flexibility that I had and go, wow, okay, this has been happening for a little bit and it feels incredible.
Yeah, you start to forget until because then you look back and you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute. I used to not be able to walk down those stairs and suddenly I can do it and it's easy and I'm not thinking about it."
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Craziest one that happened to me though was, I've got an old break in my tibia and they put a titanium rod in it. That was, I think, almost 7 years ago. And I've never been pain free in that leg in that entire time. It was always swollen, even just touching the skin around where the break was painful. That whole area just dealt with tons of inflammation, and I wasn't expecting any improvement in that at all, and it's 100% better.
I'm sorry. So you're telling me that that's not painful anymore after 7 years with the titanium rod in?
After 7 years, to the point where I could not jog, I could not jump, I could not trust it to use it as my landing leg without causing me extreme pain. It's gone. The pain's gone.
And this was something you were not even dreaming could be fixed, I'm sure.
No, I didn't really think it had anything to do with everything else that was happening to me. I just thought maybe, down the road, I'd have to have that rod removed.
Now you're not having to think about going through another surgery.
Yes, it's incredible.
Can you jump? Have you tried jumping?
I have. Yes, I can jump. I can jog, which is the first time I've been able to do that in 7 years. And I will even, like, because I have to take hay out to the horses, I'll hop down from a hay bale or two even and land on the ground and trust my leg to actually catch me.
You can do it. I bet the animals even notice a difference in you. We're like, hey,
Thank
she's
you.
got some pep in her step. She's galloping around now like we are.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that story and just for being generous with your time and telling us how much better you're doing. And I am just so thankful for you that your life has turned around in such a meaningful way.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa. Teresa has her life back. It is so nice to know that, she was on the verge of losing her business and now she could work full time if she wanted to. But this program has changed her in such a meaningful way that she's finding other ways to spend her time in her life and thinking, maybe I don't want to go back to that grind again. She's able to make her decisions and take family trips and do what she wants to do, living pain free. Can you believe she went from a pain level of a 7 to an 8 to now a 0? And she even was able to fix pain in places she didn't dream that she'd be able to fix. She lived with 7 years of a titanium rod pain every single day from that, not able to jog, not able to jump. And now she can do all of those things, all because of this program and what she's been able to learn and implement. If you are dealing with pain, if you know somebody who is dealing with pain or fatigue or mystery symptoms of any kind, tag them in this video. And if you yourself want to reach out, well, there should be a link above or below this video to connect with the Transform team, and we'll get you some more information. Thanks so much for watching.